sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Dang, I can really hear myself bounding today. Damn, boy. All right, let's see where we at. That's out there, all right. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Sorry, I was watching this. What was it? Dang, I can turn that down too. Where are we? There we go. And I gotta get my levels all straightened out. Sorry about this. It's just my levels somehow got all jacked up. Damn. That's it. And there we come on. If this would just work, I'd be done by now. Because that needs to come down there. That needs to go there. I know where this needs to go, but it's not exactly. Come on, kick it. Kick it. Do it. Do it. Come on. Come on. The damn gain button. There we go. Alright. I just got to turn that down. No, it's still not. The damn gain button is broke. On both of these channels. Hold on. Let's see how this is doing. Come on. God damn. I need a new damn mixer. I'm telling you, I need a new damn mixer. Because this mixer is starting to really piss me off. And hey, Jenna. Hey, do what you can when you can. And that's all anybody can ask of you. Come on. The only problem I have with this mixer is now I'm sounding all funky-fied. Come on. I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm going to beat the shit out of this in a minute. Alright. What it is there's a gain knob. And it just goes out of whack by itself, and I have to touch it, just turn it a little bit, play with it, caress it, to get it going. Everything else works fine on the board. Just that damn button. Oh, could have been that all along? I don't know. It could have been. I had another channel open and I didn't realize that channel was open. Oh boy, it could have been that the whole time. It looks like that's what it was. I had another channel open. Oi! Sometimes the simplest and easiest solution is the solution. Alright, hopefully everybody can hear me and I'm doing good. How is everybody doing? Big announcement for the show. I won't be here tomorrow. And I won't be here, of course, Monday. That's Christmas. So I'll be taking tomorrow and Monday off for the holiday. I got some family obligations I must attend. I will try my best to make sure I remember to put shows up. I always forget to do that. And I'll hopefully, while I'm sitting here, I could do this. While I'm sitting here, I could put up a best of show for saying, or tomorrow, Monday. It's the Christmas season. Like I said before, it's going to get a little wonky with when I'm on, when I'm not on, because of the holiday season. I'm pretty sure, I know everybody understands and is, well, understanding of it. I can't come up with words today. My brain's not working. So, I loved it. So, before the show, I mean, several hours ago, we were all outside, my wife, my daughter, myself. my neighbors were out, and I got new neighbors. And we're still, feeling each other out, seeing where each other lies. Then we have some kids in the neighborhood that I've never seen before. And she's got, 2 boys and a girl. So they were all out playing. And 2 of these kids were getting really out of hand. And these kids, they're like 10, 11, 12, And they're starting to get out of hand. One of them winds up on one of our neighbors' lawn and starts doing something to the Christmas lights. Now, I'm in the garage. I'm doing some work. And I hear the neighbor, him and his wife start yelling over, "That's not your property. Don't touch that. Get off of there." And the kid starts, I was wondering if this kid was mentally retarded the way he was reacting that he got told no. And, long story short, I know, too late. We end up talking a little bit later, and these kids are still out there, and she's like, "I didn't bother you." I was like, "No, I'm glad you guys did. I like that." Shows that they're not just respecting their property, they are out to protect other people's. And we all get along, pretty much all of us in this neighborhood, like within a couple houses. I don't know all of them personally, but we all get along. There's no fighting, and we all try to watch out for each other's property. That is the best neighborhood you can ask for. Right there. So it got to the point, finally, the mother next door told the kid to get the fuck away, and he's not welcome on the property. So, just go. So he jumps on his bike, and he starts riding up towards my house. And his friend comes up behind him and goes, "Let's go, I don't want to get in trouble. Get off their property." And the kid's like, "I'm not on their property. I'm on the sidewalk, damn it. I'm not on their property." And then I just looked over and gave a glance at the kid, and he just, took off. Then he rode up on my other neighbors. All right, the guy next to me was renting a house where the new neighbors I was just talking about live. And my one neighbor lived there. And the owner called up and said, "Hey, I'm not re-upping your rental. I'm putting the house up for sale. You have until this date to move out." So he's like, shit, I love this neighborhood. And he's paying like $1,004 for this house. Well, just at that time, the neighbor, one house, you go across the street, one to the left of mine, so it's across the street and 2 to the left of the one he lives in, that house comes up for rent. So he contacts him immediately, says, "Hey, I live here. They're selling the house. I need a new place. Or, what's the rent?" They go, "Oh, we're only charging $950. He's like, "I'll take it." Paperwork, all that got done. So his moving was real simple. The drive of the truck was just, I don't know if I could have done it. 2 houses down. And it was quite funny watching it. So anyways, this kid goes up on their lawn. I don't even say nothing. I just take a couple steps over where the kid could see me and just sit there and watch him. And he came off the property pretty quickly. And he's just, oh my God, just the comments he was doing, and just, you could see this kid has no discipline at home. No discipline at home, unfortunately. But I love that my neighbor next door is like, and she told him, she's like, "You are not fucking welcome." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I didn't offend you, did I?" I'm like, "Hell's to the no." I'm like, I cuss all the time. She's like, "Well, you didn't have a problem that I ended up cussing out the kid. He pissed me off." And he turns around to me and she goes, they were ignoring Jordan and being mean to Jordan. I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, that's the first thing that tipped me off." She's like, "Your daughter is the most beautiful, kind-hearted young lady I've seen," which really touched me. She hasn't been there that long. She's only met my daughter a couple times, and my daughter has that effect on people. She is a very nice, kind-hearted, peaceful person. And my daughter, I'm like, "What do you mean?" She told me they're ignoring, just being mean to her. I see my daughter down by him. I'm like, "Jordan, get down here real quick." She comes running down. "Yeah, Dad." I'm like, "They're ignoring you and being mean." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, what are you doing down there?" She goes, "I'm trying to find out why they're ignoring me." I said, No. Don't even fucking worry about it. Just, you're not allowed to play with them. Nothing you did. She goes, "They're just being mean." I said, "Yes." And that right there, I was like, "All right, come on, kids. Say the wrong thing, because I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree." because I was about to go across the street, get the neighbor across the street where they were messing with their Christmas lights. That was the light that my neighbor told them to knock it off. I'd get them, and if she would have came out, whoo, neighbor across the street, I love her, but she has no problem. I mean, she has 5 kids, and those kids are great. And what's funny is the kids that were causing trouble were supposed to play with her kids. Yeah, she would have lit them up. And she has no problem. Even the husband has no problem. And I know it shouldn't matter. I'm just pointing out. The mother's white and the husband's black. And actually I had fun during the campaign, during the election season last year. Because I had all these teenage kids, and I had my Trump little yard sign out, and they were fucking with me, calling me racist. So here comes my neighbor across the street, and I gotta look up to him in his face. I love him. A great guy. The only thing that he annoys me, he'd be like, "Hey Joe, I need some air in my tire, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it down to Wawa to put air in the tire. I hate to bother you. Can I go over to your house?" Mike, let me know anytime. I don't want to be a bother. You're not being a bother, Mike. That's what neighbors do. I don't want to bother you, Joe. And it's like he's so mild-mannered. And and it's not because he's black. I would think that he's not mild-mannered. Because he's this big guy. And usually big guys are... And he's just... So I was like, "Hey, Mike, did you know I'm a racist?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, the kids that just walked right there, they think I'm a racist." He's like, "Screw them." And it was just funny because I'm sitting here talking to my neighbor, she's black, and the kid's like, "Huh?" But yeah, I was about ready to go knock on their door and be like, "Hey, you might want to step outside." Oh, he would have lit. He knows the parents of all these kids, but she knows the parents of all the kids. I love that. And I love that how she immediately stuck up for my daughter. And my daughter, she's lucky. She has all these people. Oh, my God. All these people they meet my daughter, and they just fall in love with my daughter. They're like, she is the kindest, biggest heart. But the problem is, people with those big hearts usually get hurt easily. So I'm going, shit. But also, on the other hand, she has a father that's an asshole. I'm not an asshole to her, per se. But I'm a ball buster. So she's grown up with me busting balls. And she's just as quick back at me. So, but it's these kids go to bust their chops. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. And we'll walk away. Or she'll turn around. Because they did one of those little elections in her class. What was it, last year? And she was in 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade. And she was the only kid to vote Trump. Only kid. And they went after her. And, Hillary's going to win, you're going to lose, da-da-da-da-da. Now, when Trump won, she goes, "Dad, can I go in there bragging?" I said, "No, but what you can do is go to your teacher and say, 'Hey, I stuck to my principles.'" I deserve extra credit. I said, Go ahead, baby girl. Now, as I said, I know I have a great kid. I got a great kid. And how did I get that great kid? Because, while she was a baby, I was strict as hell with her. She'd make a peep at a restaurant, pick her up, take her out. And she knew she was in trouble. She would stop. And if she didn't want to stop, me and my wife would take turns outside with her. One time with my mother-in-law, she thought that we were being just a little bit over. She's like, "Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "Listen, I don't like it when people have kids that are crying, carrying on in a restaurant. Unless it's a kid-type atmosphere restaurant. But when you're in a regular restaurant, no. Be respectful. Take your kids out. Make them stop. Bring them back in. Teach them that it's not appropriate to act like that in public." She was like, "All right." She's like, "Well, she wasn't being that bad." I was like, "No, she needs to learn that she can't act out just because she's not getting her way." And I think it was a year or two ago. I think it was my mother-in-law my father-in-law just looked at me and they said, we thought you were really hard on her, but she turned out to be a great kid. I was like, both me, and it wasn't just me, it was my wife too. I'm not going to take all credit. My wife did a great job. And as I said, we set down this boundary for her. She knows right from wrong. She knows what she should do, what she shouldn't do. So now she's 14. I mean, I don't... You go do whatever you know. But I don't have to sit there. We're not getting notes at home yet. I said. About behavior. The notes we do get is, holy shit, your kid's too good. She comes home, Jesus Christ, those kids are screaming and yelling. I can't hear the teacher. I'm like, Jordan, you got to calm down. You're going to get your ass. With the students, they're going to come at you one day for being a teacher's pet. I don't care. I like the teachers. It's like, oh, God. Oh, and that kid, one of the kids that was starting trouble, me and my neighbor, he's like, I heard about this kid. He's the bully down at the bus stop. Especially he calls all the shots down there. I'm like, wait a minute. The little skinny, scrawny, blonde kid with glasses? He's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So he calls his son over. And he goes, is that the one doing the bullying? Yeah, Dad, he's the bully down there. And me and my neighbor just looked at each other and went, holy shit, things are changing. I looked at him and I said, that's the kid who would get bullied when I was in school. I'm like, oh my God. Oh. Just, if you sneezed on this kid, he'd probably fall over. And I was talking to my neighbors. I'm like, and I appreciate what they did. And I told them I did. But I was like, and the other part is, I don't worry exactly. I was like, she's taking martial arts. And, well, I'll tell the other story in a minute. I've wrestled with her. And when I say wrestle, we play around. I'll punch her in her arm. I mean, not violently. I'm trying to abuse her. I'll just be like, poof. I'll walk by her and pop her in her thigh. She's like, God damn it, Dad, what was that for? I don't know. She'll go by me and pop me in the arm or her leg. Hey. But you know what? One of these kids goes up and pops her. She's just going to look at him. Because she already had it one time. One kid popped her and she just, looked at him. It was more the psychological she got upset about. She's like, it didn't hurt. I'm like, what, did you hit him back? She's like, no. I got upset. I was like, why? Turn around and pop the kid. He hit you? Because he kicked her in the stomach. I was like, you shouldn't have knocked him the hell out. If he picks up his teeth, he won't do that again. My nephew had left 6 months ago for boot camp. He graduated boot camp and they sent him straight off to school. Well, he got to come home. Monday night he came back. And him and my daughter are close. They since they were little kids, he's always been there for my daughter. And so I was like, she wants you to come pick her up from school one day. He's like, yeah, no problem. So we, worked it out. I didn't tell her. She kept saying, when am I going to see Sean? I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him. So we made it up this morning. I take him to school. Now he's in his uniform. He's making the rounds. He's going to his high school, to his ROTC, all that. So he has his uniform on. And we're in there, and teacher's like, we're talking. She said something. I was like, no, this is her cousin. They're very close. And he's been away since boot camp. And they were just like, he just came home? Yeah. Where's the camera? Why didn't you bring a camera? I'm like, for what? They're like, oh, you are a guy. Yeah. And I'm like, they're like, oh, wait a minute. He can hide in that office right there and jump out and surprise her. I mean, this is the office staff. They're all into it. And they're, oh, thank you for your service, yada, yada, yada. I was like, that was real nice how they treated my nephew. So, she comes walking out. She signs out. She walks up to me. I'm like, are you going to say hi to your mother? Because he's in plain sight, and she hasn't said nothing. It hasn't clicked in. So she turns, and he's sitting there, and my wife's next door. And she's like, "Hi, Mom." And that's all. She ran over and started hugging him. And even the staff, you could see some tears were welling up. And she just hugged him and hugged him and hugged him, and we walked out. But the whole way back, he jumped in the back seat with her of the Explorer, and they wrestled. They were fighting each other all the way back. So that's my daughter. She picks fight. Oh, and he's a black belt in 3-4 different martial arts. And she picks fights with him. Not a fist fight, but you know what I mean. Playing around fights. And they've done it their whole lives. And she has no problem. I mean, he gets her every time, but she does not back down from him. And they're just playing around. She's not actually swinging. So one of these kids, one of these days, is going to say something to her, or do something the wrong way. Because I've told her, if a kid puts his hands on you, you have the right to defend yourself. You know, if he touches you, you know, where he's not supposed to, I want you to kick him in the nuts, punch him in the throat, and come get me. She's like, then you're going to kill him. I'm like, yep. Ooh, that went fine. I know, that was a total random conversation. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's been a really weird day here, and really fun day. Got to know neighbors. I love that they were after these kids. Two of them kept running, the two troublemakers kept running up and chasing each other in their bikes, and they kept going on his property. He's going, no, you're not going to act like that on my property. We were talking, he goes, yeah, one of those kids runs up on the property, falls down, gets hurt. I'm responsible for it, and the homeowners, you know, I read. Exactly. I'm like, a lot of Floridians don't think that way. They don't, oh, nothing's going to happen, I ain't going to get in trouble. Up north, it's like, oh my God, insurance is going to get involved. We're going to lose our house insurance. It's going to double. Down here, they're like, nah, nothing's going to happen. I don't want that chance. I don't want the parents being able to sue me because their kids were acting like idiots, running around, ran up on my property, and injured themselves. And now want to sue me. So yeah, I was like, holy shit, I'm not alone, because my neighbors, they're New York people. So, well, the only time I could deal with New York people is when kind of like they're down here. Oh, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Listen, if you want to watch a live stream, it's easy. Just go to YouTube or Facebook and search for SHR Media. That's it. That's all you need to do, people. So, let's see. Where are we at? That's weird. I thought I was away during the 29th. I gotta check something. Was I away? I thought I was away. No, I was back by the 29th. Was I? Maybe I was. I can't believe it's almost Christmas. It is almost Christmas, people. We are going to download yesterday's show. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Download that show. And we're going to post that for tomorrow. We'll let that start downloading. loading, and let's pick out one more. Let's see. Let's do a random. We'll do that one. This will be my base. All right, so the Washington Post ran an article. It says the Democrat Party on Wednesday voted overwhelmingly for Representative Jerry Nadler to replace resigned Rep. John Conyers on the House Judiciary Committee. You might think this is nothing big. Nadler, a constitutional law expert, won the spot over Rep. Zoe Lofgren, an architect of immigration legislation, by secret ballot with a 118 to 72 votes. The Washington Post noted on Thursday that the decision to fill their top spot on the committee demonstrates the Democrat Party's willingness to ready themselves for a battle with Trump that could end with impeachment proceedings. Should the Democrats regain control of the House during next year's midterm election, they intend to lay the groundwork to get Trump impeached. It doesn't surprise me. They've been doing that for a while. That's what this whole investigation is about. They think they're going to take the House and the Senate in 2018 election. And when they do that, then they're going to line President Trump up and impeach him. And that is actually the scary thing. They actually think that they have a chance to win the election. That's almost scary. It's Reaver. They actually think that they're going to take it and take it big. It's scary that they actually think they have this huge chance. And there's always a chance for anything. But there is such, I think, especially with the tax going through. That's why they're trying to lie about it so bad. They're trying to discredit the success of the tax reform that was passed yesterday. Now, honestly, I don't think they have a chance right now, especially with that tax reform was the repeal of Obamacare, basically. I know not everything is repealed, but the mandate is taken out of Obamacare. And that is a huge step right there. As soon as they repealed that, they got tax reform. He's halted a lot of the immigration. He's slowed down and has been deporting illegal aliens. He's took the fight to ISIS, and there is much, much more this man has done. Let's see if I still have that. I think I did away with the article, yeah.
It's amazing what he's done, and not many people are giving him credit for what he has done. They went on. There is nobody better prepared if the president messes around with the Constitution to handle it than Jerry Nadler, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said after Wednesday's vote, according to the Washington Post. For several months now, Democrat leadership, including Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, have pushed their party to put a lid on impeachment talks. Nadler is well respected in the Democratic caucus and was also the senior member of the House Judiciary Committee, which gave him a slight edge among New York's 18 Democrat lawmakers and many of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, which has a history of holding seniority in high regard in its decision-making process. However, Lofgren is also respected by the Democrat caucus, prompting Rep. John Larson to tell The Hill, either one of them would have been great. There would have been no loser no matter what. During last night's oversight hearing at the House Judiciary Committee, Rep. Nadler stated in his opening remarks, President Trump has engaged in a persistent and dangerous effort to discredit both the free press and the Department of Justice. These are agencies and institutions under our jurisdiction. He said, referring to Republicans in power, every minute that our majority wastes on covering for President Trump is a minute lost on finding a solution for the Dreamers, for curbing a vicious spike in hate crime, or preventing dangerous individuals from purchasing firearms, or stopping the president from further damaging the constitutional order. All right, hold on. He's gone after the quote-unquote free press because they've outright fucking lied, covered up, been complicit in crimes. Department of Justice has conspired on how to overthrow our current president. Of course, those are things the Democrat Party loves. They love criminals. They love liars, cheaters. And then they went in about finding a solution for the Dreamers. Very easy. They're no longer under DACA. Bye-bye. There is a chance, a slight chance with the tax reform, there could be an increase in our debt. A slight chance. Because they can't predict exactly how much money is going to be brought in by the tax refunds. But we know with DACA, we are talking billions of dollars added to the debt to give forgiveness to these criminals for curbing a vicious spike in hate crimes. Hate crimes that were committed by liberals. That spike has been fake hate crimes committed by liberals trying to pin it on the Republican Party. Preventing dangerous individuals from purchasing firearms. That is a euphemism for any citizen that could stand up against the Democrat Party is considered a dangerous individual. Stopping the president from further damaging the constitutional order. Well, Obama's already out of office, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Because this president is going back to constitutional order. He is not writing executive orders that are unconstitutional. As much as they love to go out there and pound the pavement screaming that he's unconstitutional, then when the Supreme Court rules on it, that's a big wrong. His power has been constitutional on what he has done so far. It's gotten to the point the Supreme Court is now making comments to the lower courts because they're getting tired of cleaning up the lower courts' mess. Because they want to play partisan politics. So while the Democrat Party, the only thing they've done is attack Trump, Trump has gone out there and is securing the border, taking care of ISIS, got tax reform done, repealed Obamacare, the economy. Woo! The increase in the Dow Jones, the stock market is just through the roof doing great. Jobs are opening up. Companies are spending money. Companies are happy. Regulations are getting repealed. Red tape is getting removed. Companies can now do business without the restraints and chains of bondage that the Democrat Party is all too well known for putting on its people. So go ahead and try to impeach this president. That would be the worst the Democrats could attempt. And I'm not talking that little attempt they made already. Because I don't see. Because I've heard this rhetoric from the Democrat Party. We're taking the House back. Nancy Pelosi, what, in 2010? We're going to keep the House. We lost then. 2012, we're taking the House back. No, we lost more seats. 2014, we're taking the House back. We lost more seats. 2016, we're taking the House back. Oh, shit, we lost. And the same with the Senate. I've been hearing how they're going to take it back and take it back and take it back. You know what they could take back? This commercial. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Listen, I want to give... usually I'm going to start... I'm going to start this early. Hey, I'm going to start this early. Coming up right after the show at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's what? Carry the two. 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon with a special guest. They're going to be talking the paranormal. Besides politics, paranormal, UFOs, with the recent government release of information from our Air Force and government agencies. And the author of the book is an expert on UFOs, the paranormal altogether, and Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Hairy Man, Skunk Man, whatever you want to call him. And I showed my daughter BZ's promo he was running. In fact, see if I can play the promo. I'm not going to play the video if you guys just... come on, Facebook. I'm going to play the audio
now I won't find it. Here it is.
On the Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, we have just for you, well, it's going to be politics and the paranormal. Something I haven't done before. We've got a very special guest on tonight, and that's Alan Thomas, formerly of Paranormal Central. He knows all about UFOs. He knows about the paranormal, and he's a Sasquatch hunter. We're going to talk to him about some of the very interesting recent events disclosed by United States Air Force pilots and also the Pentagon and the U.S. government. What's going on? These are some interesting questions. We'll talk to Alan Thomas about it. Go to shrmedia.com, click on air, and then you can watch also on the SHR Media Facebook page. You can also watch on the...
All right, everybody knows where to find us. Hopefully, I mean, you're listening to me now. You should know where to find us. So my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, heard about this. She's like, I want to stay up. I know it's 14. Some people are like, oh, my God. Yeah, she does have the bedtime, but she doesn't have school tomorrow. Well, technically, school is in session, but she had midterms this week, and she took all of her midterms, and tomorrow's for any makeup midterms. So she has nothing to make up. Why send her to school? Even the teachers are like, are anybody really going to be here tomorrow? There's no need for her to be there. Why send her? She's taken all of her exams. Everything's done. That's why I was able to pick her up early today, because her exams are all done. So she's like, I want to watch that. I'm like, yes. And my daughter's big time in the paranormal. And you know what? Me and my wife sit there and laugh because she doesn't fall far from the tree. So I'll be definitely listening and watching and hopefully joining in, well, at least in the chat room. It is... The Democrats are in absolute destruction mode. You had Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer attack AT&T just hours before the telecommunication giant announced that they will distribute bonus to over 200,000 employees and billions of dollars of domestic capital investment after Republicans passed the Tax Cut and Job Act. Think about this, because they're already complaining, we're going to have all this debt because we cut taxes and we're not making it up. Yeah, we are. You have AT&T going to be pumping $1 billion in. How much tax is going to be paid on that? You got bonuses being sent to employees. Taxes are going to be paid on that. They're going to have more money. They're going to spend that money. Taxes are going to be paid on that. So the money's going to be made up quick and easy because it's getting spent more freely. The companies are spending it by paying their employees and expanding their business. Then the employers are making more money, so they're spending their money. And that employer, that company is going to have to spend more money to keep up with the demand. And it's an ever-rolling snowball. And Mayor Schumer at a press conference on Wednesday argued that the Republican tax reform bill will only increase corporations' profit while doing nothing to benefit the average American worker. And he actually came out and said, I love the example of AT&T. Over the last 10 years, AT&T has paid an average tax rate of 8% a year. They have 80,000 fewer employees today than they had then. The New York Democrat added, tax breaks do not lead to job creation. They lead to big CEO salaries and money for very, very wealthy. And then AT&T comes out. We're going to spend $1 billion. We're going to give bonuses. And it's not to executives. They're not talking executives. These are small-time employees. After the congressional Republicans passed the Tax Cut and Job Act, AT&T announced that they plan to invest an additional $1 billion in the U.S. in 2018 and pay a special bonus of $1,000 to more than 200,000 U.S. employees once the Republican tax reform bill is signed into law. If the president signs the bill before Christmas, employees will receive the bonus over the holidays. AT&T revealed in a press release on Wednesday.
You know, it is exactly AT&T, Delta, Southwest. Comcast is pumping $50 billion into the infrastructure of the internet. Expanding employees. They're hiring more employees. They're giving bonuses to employees. They're raising their minimum salary without the government stepping in. They're raising their minimum starting wage salary. Holy shit. Everything Trump said would happen is happening. There's other companies out there that are doing this stuff. There's a whole list, and I don't have the list in front of me right now. It is unbelievable because it's exactly what Trump said, and the exact opposite of what the Democrats were preaching the other day and still preaching. It's the exact opposite. They can't even admit that they're fucking wrong and they're out there lying. What is it? Wells Fargo, Fifth Third Bank, Comcast, AT&T, and it's Delta. Who else? It's oh, what the hell? It's amazing, and the Democrats are still out there. And they're going to look, they're going to have egg on their face. Why? Because come starting February, I think it is, there'll be more money in people's pockets. That's simple, folks. The American people see it. It's the Democrats that are going to get damaged are the ones that refuse to give credit where credit's due. Now they tried to today fuck up the budget. Not a damn Democrat. We don't want a government shutdown, but we will not vote for a temporary budget. Nope. We're voting no. Every Democrat voted no on the budget. But they don't want to shut down. They don't want to shut the government down. Then why did they vote no? Because they're a lying piece of shit party. Period. It's getting ridiculous with them. They are, and now they're also bitching the money that we're getting to keep out of our paychecks, our hard-earned money. They're bitching that it's their money being taken away from them. It's money taken away from welfare. It's money taken away from all these entitlement programs. You know what? The Democrats and Barack Obama had no problem taking billions of dollars out of Medicare, robbing Medicare and bankrupting it even worse to fund for that disastrous Obamacare. That's okay because the Democrats did it. People are paying attention. People are not listening to fake news. People are researching their information. The Democrat Party has not seen the error of their ways and are still can't see what they did wrong. You're listening
to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Coming up, top of the hour, in about 53 minutes, will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ himself. He's going to have a special guest, an expert on the paranormal, UFOs, and Bigfoot. So stick around. I know I will be. In fact, my 14-year-old daughter's making sure she's going to be around for this show. She is excited. So we got breaking news. Breaking news. Or however the hell it goes. Unconfirmed rumor sources say Caitlyn Jenner has accused Bruce Jenner of sexual harassment and fondling her for 50 years now. More will come as it breaks. I saw that. I started just laughing my ass off. Where was it at? Another tweet I saw. It would be wrong to say that socialist nations produce nothing. It's wrong to say that. For a century, they've succeeded in creating one thing: refugees. And then I want to touch this tweet. In the final year of Obama's presidency, we lost 17,000 manufacturing jobs he claimed were never coming back. He claimed the economy we better get used to because this is the way it's going to be from now on. There was nothing the government to do. There's nothing to be done. It's just the way it was going to be from now on. Jobs would be leaving. There's nothing we can do. In the first year of the Trump presidency, we have added 171,000 new manufacturing jobs. 171,000 new manufacturing jobs that Obama said were never coming back. You see how much that asshole actually knew. Where's my cursor? There it is. Alright. Let me actually be smart and set up my next commercial ahead of time. Alright. I do have breaking news. I'm pretty sure everybody heard it. Big news today is Jeff Sessions has ordered DOJ to reopen investigations, re-examine evidence in the Uranium One investigation. NBC News broke the news and said, on the order of Attorney General Jeff Sessions, Justice Department prosecutors have begun asking FBI agents to explain the evidence they found in a now dormant criminal investigation into a controversial uranium deal that critics have linked to Bill and Hillary Clinton. Multiple law enforcement officials told NBC News. The interviews with FBI agents are part of the Justice Department effort to fulfill a promise as Assistant Attorney General made to Congress last month to examine whether a special counsel was warranted to look into what has become known as the Uranium One deal
a senior Justice Department official said. At issue is a 2010 transaction in which the Obama administration allowed the sale of U.S. uranium mining facilities to Russia's State Atomic Energy Company. So let me get this, put it easy. Obama sold our uranium mining facilities to Russia government. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time, and the State Department was one of the 9 agencies that agreed to approve the deal after finding no threat to the U.S. national security. They found that Russia, was no national threat on mining and taking uranium, which is used for what? This uranium is used for nuclear weapons. People, there is your Russian collusion. She made $150 million off this sale. She was very well in the know, in the loop about this sale. Eric Holder was in on this sale. But we know from financial records that Hillary Clinton's Clinton Foundation received $150 million. So guess what? Guess what? About friggin' time. I mean, this could lead to other investigations into Hillary. Now, if Hillary was smart, after she lost that election, knowing all this had happened, she should have went in hiding and shut her fucking mouth. Democrats should have taken the loss, taken it on the chin, and sat back and reevaluated. No, they wanted to press issues, which then uncovered and opened up all of this disgusting, repulsive, illegal activity committed by the DNC, Democrat politicians, the Obama administration, and Hillary Clinton. If she would have shut her mouth and the DNC taken that loss, I think Trump would have left it alone. But no. They thought they are invincible. They think they're above the law, and us peons, hey, they think that it's their money to take and give when it's our money. These people need to understand and need to get back to reality. Now, I don't have a list. But again, as so many times I sit back and I talk with my dad, very level-headed guy, never really got into politics until really recently. And he does admit that he should have paid attention more over the years, and just he thought the government was doing the right things. But now I lost my train of thought. Shit. It's ridiculous. I totally lost my train of thought there. Damn it. Oh, and we were talking, and it's Trump is the only president that we can remember that has kept I know he hasn't kept every single one so far, but kept his campaign promises. Maybe not exactly like he said he would do them, but they're getting done. The wall. We're in the process. It's not an easy process. We got liberals that want to leave an open border to allow illegals to flood into this country, kill Americans. They want it open so terrorists can get in this country with ease and kill Americans. So they're fighting Trump on that. But it's getting done, people. He's deporting people. He's putting America first. He said we would have tax reform. We have tax reform. All right, maybe not as perfect as he had promised. Tell me a president. There's been president after president that said they were going to do tax reform. Never got it done. Never even attempted. Promised we were going to move our embassy and recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The Bushes promised, Clinton, Obama, they campaigned on it and promised. It did nothing. Here comes Trump, does it. All right, he promised to get rid of Obamacare. All right, he didn't get it done the way, well, it's not that he didn't get it done. The Republican Senate didn't get it done like they promised because we had backstabbers like McCain. But with this tax deal going through, we got the mandate repealed, which was a big bitch a lot of people had. A lot of people didn't like being forced into buying a product they may not be able to afford or want. Go on. He's getting his campaign promises through. They're working on, slowly, national reciprocation of concealed carry. He promised that. They're working on it. That's been put in. First day. Term limits bill. Actually, amendment was put in, and it was Ted Cruz that put that in. That one takes a long time, if it were to get done. He promised conservative federal judges. He's got a record of appointing judges and conservative judges in the federal district. Hell, he gets to appoint, I believe, a judge to the Ninth Circuit Court, and it's going to be a conservative. Oh, he got very conservative, great so far, Supreme Court nomination in Gorsuch. Never heard of the guy before, and poof, out of nowhere, here comes Gorsuch to save the day. How you doing, BZ? I mean, it's just, I've never seen a president that has pretty much got a majority of what he campaigned on, at least started. I see liberals. That's scarier. That's scarier than seeing ghosts, BZ. BZ came in the chat room. Since you're not in the chat room, you didn't see him. He just says, ghost. I see dead people. Now, that's not as scary as seeing liberals. Radicalized liberals. It's people, we got a conservative. And what's funny is we heard during the campaign from these never-Trumpers, he's a Democrat. He's a New York Democrat. He's not a conservative. He's in it just to help Hillary Clinton to win. He'll never appoint any conservative judges. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. When Hillary's not in office, he's one of the most conservative presidents we've had in a long time. He's being more conservative than Bush is. Both of them. They're different men. But I'll tell you right now, him and Reagan are on a similar path. They're different men. And don't give me this, Reagan was such a mild-manner, this perfect, calm man. Because I've seen the videos of him screaming and yelling and take control. So, don't go there with me. That don't work. Maybe he doesn't talk the way Trump does. But you know what? Trump is getting shit done. And that's all I want. Hell, what do we hear from McConnell? You don't understand, the government doesn't run like business. We can't do things that fast. I want a tax reform on my desk before Christmas. McConnell saw the people, saw how pissed off they were. McConnell got off his ass and did the work. Well, I mean, he didn't do it, but you know what I mean. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening. Contact is the evening.
Now back to Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up, top of the hour, is the... sorry, BZ, I just got so used to it. And once you know how once you get used to doing something, it's hard to break it? I got used to saying BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ. So, I'm sorry, I know I'm probably butchering your show's name again, and I apologize. I just got in such a habit of it, so please forgive me, BZ. He'll be having a great guest, and they'll be talking not just politics, but paranormal, UFOs. Our government's admitting, they have admitted a few things. There's some information that has come out and come to light. This guy, the author, is also, I believe, an expert on the paranormal, and also a Bigfoot hunter, Sasquatch, hairy man. Here in Florida, they call him Skunk Man. See, this is the way I look at it. I know they say there's no way that Bigfoot can exist. It's impossible. We would have found him by now. You don't find bear carcasses in the woods either. You really don't. Why can't there be something that exists? Why can't? There's been animals that have avoided our detections for years. And on top of that, there is cultures from hundreds of years ago, I mean, many, many, many moons ago, had no way of conversating with other cultures. There was no way that they could talk to these other cultures. And they all... That's because us firefighters get those cats out, the cat skeletons out of the tree. Again, if you don't get that, you ought to be in the chat room. Just go to shrmedia.com and join the chat room. These people, they couldn't talk to each other, but yet they had descriptions of a creature that are almost spot on to these other cultures throughout time. And just through the states in the United States, there is, I think in almost every state there has been a sighting. So I don't just disprove something just because I can't see it yet. That's because the EMTs save the firefighter skeletons out of the tree, too. It's just and then the paramedics save the EMTs. Then the doctors save the paramedics. Totally off topic, just popped in my head. And one of the things that helped me when I was working my career as a EMT, I got told very early on, being an EMT in the medical field, all it is you're passing on people's problems to another person. I was like, what? That's not what we do. We don't pass on problems. She's like, yes, we do. He goes, the patient calls up. You go to help the patient, right? I said, yeah. And then what do you do? I said, I take, maybe need a paramedic or take them to the ER. And it goes to the nurse and then the doctor. He goes, so what's going on is the patient has a problem. They call you and they dump the problem on you. Yeah. And then you try to dump the problem onto the paramedics or you dump it onto the nurse. And either the paramedic then dumps it onto the nurse again, and then the nurse dumps the problem onto the doctor. And then the ER doctor dumps it onto the floor doctor. I said, he goes, that's all medical is about. Dumping someone's problem onto the next person. I went, shit. That really makes sense. I know that has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but these are the things that pop in my head out of nowhere sometimes. And anybody that's in the medical field, they're going, holy shit. Jersey Joe's right. Because that's all you're doing is pushing problems on. So, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, instead of keeping her mouth shut and her head low, she decided, because there was the vote on the budget, she decided to put a tweet out and said, no, dreamers can't wait. This is the only country. Many of these, ready for it? Now remember, these are illegal aliens in this country. Not the aliens, illegal aliens of the third kind. Illegal aliens from other country kind. She calls them, this is the only country many of these patriots have ever known. We must pass the DREAM Act now, and I won't vote for another spending bill until we do. Well, I got a question. If this is so fucking important to this woman, and this is so important to the Democrats, even though every goddamn poll says America does not want amnesty for these people, they don't want DACA for these people. If it was so important for these Democrats, why didn't they give amnesty when they had the president, they had the House, and they had the Senate? They could have pushed it through with no problem, right along at the same time with Obamacare, and they could have passed it. Because here's a little secret. Here's a little secret for everybody. The Democrats don't want to be responsible for passing amnesty. They want to try to force the Republicans to do it. And you think, why? Why? Because it's going to have a negative reaction on the people. And even though the Democrats pushed it, if it's the Republican Party that passes it, when the negative reaction comes, the Democrats can go, whoa, 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 whoa. It's not us. It's the Republicans that have the majority in the House and the Senate and the presidency. This is their bill. They pushed it. Not us. We have nothing to do with this. We're in the minority. Somebody tell me I'm wrong on that. That's why they're pushing for the Republicans to do it, and they've never passed it themselves. Because they know that's a death sentence. Because they know from the last couple elections, that's one of the things they keep running their mouths about. And they lost elections. So they think they could sucker the Republicans into doing it and then dumping the blame and the negative effect onto the Republicans. Think I'm fired up tonight? You know, while she's doing that, I got a question for
all the Democrats that ran their mouths about the dreamers. I got one question for you. One question. What about Kate Stein's dreams? What about Kate Stein's dreams? Debbie Wasserman Schultz is so worried about these illegal aliens, these non-citizens. I say we remove every single one of them that are pushing this. You can remove officials for breaking their oath. Every single one of them takes an oath of office to the people of the United States of America. Not the people of South America, not the people of Central America, not the people of every other country but America. They pledge to support the American people. And not a fucking Democrat is doing that at this time. They have screwed over the middle class for over 8 years now. They've really pushed it into high gear of screwing over the middle class within the last 8 years. They have screwed over American citizens with open borders. They don't care if terrorists come flooding in and kill Americans, beheading Americans. What did Obama say when jobs were leaving and terrorism was happening? It's the new way of the world. Get used to it, people. Because if Hillary would have got in, guess what? Those two would have been the norm of high unemployment, high welfare, high terrorism. That would have been the new norm. I have any coffee left? It is. This whole administration's sick. The old administration, I should say, excuse me. A senior Obama aide jokes about murder of the GOP leadership. He thinks it's funny. It's ridiculous what these people actually are thinking nowadays. I'm trying to pull up the article. I thought I had one on my notes. Real quick. Trump left the White House today. And he had no official events on the schedule today. And they caught him walking out. And he wouldn't tell what. All he said was, I was heading to Walter Reed. And my wife, we were at my parents' when we saw that he was doing that. And my wife just stopped. She goes, where's he going? I said, he's going to Walter Reed. She's like, something special? I said, no, he's just going to meet the troops. Ends up he was going there just to visit the wounded warriors for the holidays and wish them a Merry Christmas in person. And my wife just said, you don't hear presidents doing that really anymore. Obama never did it. I mean, he did his little photo ops here and there. But for the most part, he didn't give a shit about our troops. President Trump went there and didn't want any publicity that he was going to do it. It's amazing how they keep attacking this guy. He does so much without people knowing. He did so much before he even became president. All of a sudden, you started hearing some stories that you never heard about over the years of him meeting people. Some guy that had, saw Trump on the side of the road with a flat tire, stopped and offered him a ride. Trump paid the guy back, paid the guy's mortgage off.
You know, to him, it was nothing paying that kind of mortgage off. It was a drop in a bucket for him. To that guy, it was something bigger than just a quick ride down the road. I mean, stories after stories started coming out, and Trump didn't want him out because that's not what he wants to be known for. That's something he does out of his heart, and he keeps it to his heart. Going to Walter Reed Hospital, that's something that he just wanted to do. And I respect that. I mean, I respect what Bush does. Bush, as my wife calls him, shrub. And the joke is we're not trying. You have two Bushes that were in office. You have Daddy Bush and Son Bush. What's a small bush? A shrub. So, shrub is the kid. Bush is the father. It's... I mean, Shrub used to do that. Well, there goes another actor I won't be watching ever again. Christian Bale says America would be better if white dudes weren't running things. This self-hate. The self-hate is disgusting. I don't understand it. You're not going to push me and force me into feeling guilty for what happened 200 years ago, 250 years ago, 300 years ago. I had nothing to do with that, people. Fuck off. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as Jones, the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Remember, why that elephant is so tiny is because the nose is so big. It's proportions, people. Coming up next, top of the hour in approximately, 11 minutes? Yeah, 11 minutes. Will be BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by BZ himself. The speech is free, but the drinks aren't. He'll have a special guest, an author. I forget the guy's name. Oh, God. I'm butchering these things, ain't I? But it is an expert on the paranormal, so the show won't just be politics. It'll be talking about paranormal, UFOs, and the new information coming out about UFOs from our government, paranormal, and also he's an expert on Bigfoot. So, also today that happened, the UN General Assembly voted 128-9 to declare U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital null and void. Yeah, fuck you. So people are now saying, one person on Twitter said, we Americans were just thinking their subsidies are null and void. Send them back to the shitholes and let them pay their own way. Let's see, because these countries that just voted against us, a couple quick ones. Afghanistan gets $5 billion from us, U.S. taxpayer dollars. Albania gets $27 million from us, and they voted against us. Algeria is $17.8 million. Angola, never heard of it before, $64 million. Armenia, $22 million. Austria, $310,000. Azerbaijan, whatever, $15 million. Bahrain, $6.5 million. Bangladesh,
$263 million. Barbados, $5 million. Belarus, $11 million. Just to give you a quick little, look at that. Yeah, and guess what? They voted against us. Well, I guess you don't want our help anymore. If you're going to treat us like that, why the fuck should we give hard-earned money to them? Brazil, $14 million. Burkina Faso, $74 million. Burundi, $70.5 million. Cambodia, $103 million. Chad, $117 million. Belgium, $3 million. Shit. China, $42 million. Cote d'Ivory or something shit like that, $161 million. Egypt, $1.2 billion we give them. And they want to stab us in the back. Ecuador, $26 million. Denmark, we give $3,455 to. What the fuck? That's just Cuba, $15 million we give. Congo, $8 million. Estonia is 15. Ethiopia, I think it is, $1.1 billion. Ghana, $724 million. India, $179 million. Indonesia, $222 million. Iraq, $5 billion. Jordan, $1.2 billion. What the fuck are we giving Jordan $1.2 billion? They are rich enough to sustain themselves. Kazakhstan, which coincidentally, someone tried to log into my Facebook the other day from Kazakhstan, which is really weird because I don't know anybody. I've never been out of well, I've been to Mexico and Jamaica. I've never been to Kazakhstan, and not recently. My wife's account got attempted to be hacked also, but it didn't give a location. Lebanon, $416 million. Liberia, $474 million. Madagascar, $102 million. I know I'm listing a lot of numbers here. I'm just giving you the big ones. And all these places voted no. Or voted against this, I should say. Mozambique, $500 million. Nepal, $194 million. This is our money. The American taxpayer money is being given away to these countries. We give Russia $17 million. Pakistan, $750 million. Nigeria, $718 million. Oh my God, this is South Africa, almost over $500 million. Sudan, we pay in foreign aid $137 million. Turkey, $154 million. Macedonia, $31.7 million. Syria, $916 million we give in aid. We give Switzerland $1.1 million. United Kingdom, $3.8 million. Tanzania, $628 million. Uzbekistan, $20 million. Vietnam, $157 million. Yemen, terrorist capital of the world, we give $305 million. Zimbabwe, $261 million. and they voted against us. I say, we put stop payment on those checks. We stop paying these goddamn countries. You want to vote against us? You want to vote against the hand that feeds you? You're done. And with that, I'm going to be done. Coming up next is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ. And he's going to have a great show. Great show. I'm looking forward to it. So is my daughter. And with that, I will see everybody Tuesday. Merry Christmas. I won't be here tomorrow or Monday. Again, have a Merry Christmas. Spend it with your family. Spend it with the people you love. Give them a big hug. And Merry Christmas to all. And all a good night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.